Hey everyone, the Dark Knight is here. It is quite obvious what the Penguin is about. What is not quite obvious is if the modern era of watching a television show in which a showrunner or a filmmaker is now obsessed with creating a universe or a conception, will a show about not a superhero but a villain do enough to mesmerize the audience? It's in the stupendous writing. Oz Cobb, the Penguin, is one of the principal figures in Batman's rogues gallery, with too much attention to detailing about who Batman was, is, and will be that the global audience is already aware of. And with the changing trend of the viewers more willing to understand criminals and their hows and whys through films, television shows, even documentaries, I reckon it has become imperative to divert our attention to Gotham's other side. Perhaps there is a need to understand why the villains of Gotham are sick psychopaths. And this is exactly why the first part of Joker was widely accepted by the global audience. So, if a Joker can be a talking point at a symposium, workshop, or forum, then why not the other adversaries of Batman? Let's say Penguin. Now, Oz Cobb in the film was some mid-level mobster and a yes-boss man to the Falcones, who was operating the Iceberg Lounge. And he was yet to be a crime biggie like the Falcones and the Maronis. So instead of waiting for the Batman's sequel to observe Penguin's character growth in a very limited time frame, we get this show to understand how Oz Cobb breaks into dirty business, expands his operation, restores and ignites the old rivalry of the crime families, and establishes his name among the people of Gotham. The character was written with such proper care that the makers gave a couple of minutes on his troubled feet. Visibly, the Penguin walks with a limp due to a clubfoot condition that I do not recall is a faithful source from comics. The Penguin introduces Sofia Falcone, who I think was never mentioned by her father, Carmine Falcone, in The Batman. Now, she has been discharged from Arkham Asylum, that is to some extent pretty close to comics, because comics has delved into Sofia's mental state and related it for her possibly being near to Arkham Asylum or Gotham State Penitentiary, like Batman Long Halloween and its sequel, Batman Dark Victory. For your information, a lot of Falcone arc in the show has been inspired by these books too. Sofia's temper issue, her being the Hangman, and multiple deaths in the Falcones all occurred in these books. I don't remember if the character of Sofia Falcone was so impressively lifted, written, or portrayed ever. The icing on the cake was Cristin Milioti's performance, who remarkably adapted the typical menace and the mental freakishness of Sofia, a kind of mother that no father would wish to meet. The viewers get to enjoy some really good origin story of Sofia in episode 4. We have our answers to why Sofia had to go to Arkham. Why did she suffer a childhood trauma? How come her own people suddenly turned against her? Sofia has every reason to be exasperated. And the legend of Arkham Asylum is that if you pass behind those walls, you will never return with the same brain. No one recovers in Arkham Asylum, and the mental health further deteriorates. The flashbacks in the show give more insider about the troubles of the central characters, particularly Oz, whose superior love and attention for his mentally ill mother upgraded Oz's criminal doctrine. It was an unbelievable flashback scene when Oz locked the door and let both his brothers drown in the tunnel, so that he would be the only son his mother would be concerned of. What a freaky psychopath. And this is the mental state when he was a kid. What good can you expect from him when he grows up? The flashbacks confirm that the treatment of Oz while working for the Falcones was of a below-par henchman who did what his boss and his kids told him to do. In one scene, Oswald tried to help Sofia in some matter, and she reminded him who he is. And Sofia's supporting character got its richness and audience approval due to her backstory. Carmine's contribution to his daughter's life, brother Alberto's support, and the deterioration of her mental health are all covered in the flashbacks. Oswald was a small man with high ambitions, and he would have never become Penguin had Victor never entered in his life. Vic worked for him and was helpful to Oz on many occasions, so Oz got his sidekick. It was a comic book relief for the geeks when we discovered that Oz's first encounter with Vic was when he with his friends tried to steal the tire of his car. In comics, this is exactly how Batman met the second Robin, Jason Todd. During his backstory, Vic lost his family in an uncontrollable flooding caused by the seawall explosion, so we get to know what other characters suffered due to Riddler. The third episode showed Victor's mental case of recovering from grief and getting double-minded about his priorities. The nightclub scene of Vic's hallucination with brilliant editing was easily one of the best moments of the show. That raised the graph of Vic's importance. But all that importance throughout the show took a hit when Oz killed Victor. After he bailed him out of danger and rescued him, and after taking care of his ailing mother, Oz killed him. That was so cold of him. But guess what? He's a bad guy who lives in Gotham. If he can kill his own brothers, then there is no value of Vic's life. Crazy maniacs like this motherfucker is the reason why this city needs the Caped Crusader. The expectations generally reduce when the continuity of the film is proceeded in the television format due to a significant change in the production budget. I have no knowledge of how much did the Penguin cost, but the presentation never disappointed me. The technical aspects and the growth of storytelling maintain the richness. The cinematic visuals as well as editing are striking. Batverse stays committed to Noah. I don't have critical objection about the show besides one, and that is a pretty big one. During all the troubles that Gotham suffered in the reignited rivalry between the Falcones and the Maronis, during the pursuits, during the gunshots, when Oz meets the gang leaders, and above all, when Oz's base is destroyed, where was Batman all this time? It is unthinkable that Gotham is in deep trouble and Batman is not showing up. There has to be a valid explanation for his absence. Colin Farrell deserves all the praise. This is like a milestone in his career. Maybe it was more about the prosthetics, but Colin got a grip on the mannerism and the typical Italian-American accent. And remember, he is Irish. Colin and the showrunners go deep in exploring the psychology of his character. He's not a terrible liar, but a true art of deception. You can observe how he outplayed Maroni and Sophia and made them trust him and smartly bought some time. Colin was so impressive in keeping the lie when his mother was about to lose her pinky. And the passion for outdoing someone is more vibrant and ruthless. When Oz beats Maroni, he shouts, "I got ya." Looks like that is his code for some accomplishment when he beats his enemy. Remember when Batman was chasing Penguin and Penguin assumed that Batman caught up in the blast? He shouted the same line multiple times. Has the Penguin concluded on a strong note as a limited series, or must it continue? I'm very thankful to Lauren Lafranc for creating, running and writing this show, but she knows better if there is potential to continue. I opine that the show has fulfilled its purpose. We needed a backstory about Oz, and in 8 episodes, we are convincingly thrilled. Most possibly, Batman 2 will proceed from the last scene of the show, and now that Oz has built some name, he will play an important role in Gotham. More than Penguin 2, if there is a need for another show in this Matt Reeves Batverse, there is a potential in letting us know more about Zoe Kravitz's Selina Kyle, Catwoman. Selina sends a letter to Sophia in Arkham and calls herself her half-sister. When Sophia reads the letter, her mood swiftly changes and chuckles. Selina is someone who has an interconnected arc in Gotham shared with Oz, Carmine, Bruce, and now Sophia. Black woman with a strong feminine character, existing in a well-established Batverse. What would a showrunner want to decide this project? It is mesmerizing and undoubtedly brilliant. How can anyone make a television show on Batman's villain with such jubilant mastery? This is sick. It's always Warner Brothers. It's always DC. When it comes to mastering quality content in superheroes, Warner Brothers mesmerizes you with time. It's in their DNA. Since setting the standard for superhero content with the 1978 Superman, Warner Brothers has always inspired other production houses to how superhero projects are executed. In live-action films, animated TV shows, live-action television shows, animated films, trilogies, a superhero film with a female lead, or a villain in the lead, and now a villain in the lead in a TV show. Warner Brothers, either they got financially hit or faced controversies. In good and bad times, they always find a way to create cult classic for ages. I'm Knaik. Thank you for watching my video, really appreciate it. If you like my content and really want to watch this kind of shit more, then subscribe to my channel and don't forget to click on the bell icon and drop your messages and suggestions in the comment box down there. Take care and always look on the bright side of life.